Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai Akhanda Guru Tattva ki jai 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 Sri Radhe Shyam Hare Krishna. So today is the most auspicious appearance anniversary of Bhagavān Sri Krishna Chandra in the holy land of Sri Vrindavan. We have about 1 hour to discuss. There could be different streams of Harikatha that could be offered as service for our purification, for bringing our hearts closer to the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, to serve all the Vaishnavas. But mainly today, we'll offer it as a little offering for the pleasure of Srimati Radharani's ears. Srimati Radharani loves Shyam Sundar like nobody else. And therefore, today she is very happy that her Prana Priyatama, the soul of her soul, the life of her life, has appeared in this beautiful, wonderful land of Sri Vrindavan. Sometimes people have questions whether Krishna is the son of Devaki Vasudeva or Nanda and Yashoda. That wouldn't be the topic of today's discussion. Maybe that can be discussed some other time. But the topic of today's discussion is Praman from Srimad Bhagavatam, proving without any doubt that Krishna is God. In the present generation, even to have faith that God exists is a big start. How much more is glorious if we can come to the point that Krishna is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada would again and again, he would drill this point that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is the cause of all causes. We hear that through so many different references, like in the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma has again and again said, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The word Adi Purusha means the primeval Lord, the first being. And the most often quoted verse from Brahma Samhita is the first verse of the 5th chapter, Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishna. That Krishna is not just Ishwara, he's not just a God, he is Parama Ishwara. He is the source of all the expansions. He's not an avatar, he's avatari, from whom different avatars manifest. So many acharyas in many Sampradayic lines have without any doubt established and sang songs and beautiful stutis, tavas, stotra glorifying Krishna. Like you can see in the Dashavatara Stotra, Jayadev Goswami. Now, nobody can say that we are being sectarian, that we are only presenting the conclusion of iskcon. That's not our point. Our point is to give the truth. So Sri Jayadev Goswami, who is the respectable, worshipable acharya for all bhaktas in all sampradayas, he has sang and composed and sang the Dashavatara Stotra, glorifying Matsya Avatar, Kurma Avatar, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, ityadi. But what is amazing is that as he's describing each avatar, the last line remains the same, which is Keshava Dhrita Meena Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshava Dhrita Kurma Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshava Dhrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. The word Keshava remains constant. What does the word Keshava mean? It is Krishna who is the killer of Keshi, the demon Keshi. So Krishna became a tortoise. Krishna became a fish. Krishna became Varahadev, a wild boar. Krishna became a dwarf, Vaman. Krishna became half man, half lion, Narasimha. So all the different avatars are described, but he says the one who became these avatars is Krishna. That is Sri Jayadev Goswami. And at the end, in the conclusion of the Dashavatar Stotra, He says, Vedanudharate jaganti vahate bhugolamudbhibrate daityam dharayate balim jhalayate kshatrakshyam kurvate paulastyam jayate halam halayate karunyamatanvate mlechan murchayate dashakriti krite krishnaya tubhyam namaha. He does an overview. Just like after detailed glorification of each incarnation, at the end, he does a wrap up. And he says, all these 10 incarnations who have manifested in different forms, Vedanudharate, Jaganti Vahate, Bhugolamudbibrate, Varaha came to save Mother Earth, and Daityam Dharayate, Narasimha came to kill Hiranyakashipu, ityadi, ityadi. Daityam Dharayate, Balim Chalayate, he who came to cheat Bali as a dwarf incarnation. He came with 3 dwarf steps, but then became Urukram. That is Vamandev, Vaman Bhagwan. After describing all of them, at the end he says, Dasha Kriti Krite Krishnaya Tubhyam Namaha. That Krishna, who is the source, the manifestation, the cause of all these incarnations, I bow down to him. So this is Sri Jayadev Goswami in the Dashavatar Stotra. In this way, so many acharyas have written. Sripad Vallabhacharya gave all his life to the worship of Krishna. He would very famously chant Kasturi Tilakam Lalata Patale Bhaktastale Kaustuvam ityadi, glorifying the words from the Gopal Tapani Upanishad, glorifying Sri Krishna. How about Sripad Vallabhacharya ji's very famous Madhurashtakam, glorifying Krishna? मधुराधिपतेर अखिलम मधुरम मधुराधिपतेर अखिलम मधुरम मधुराधिपतेर अखिलम मधुरम. The Lord of all sweetness, Sri Krishna. What to speak of Sripad Bilva Mangala Thakur? Sripad Bilva Mangala Thakur sang Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. The Govinda Damodara Stotram is glorifying Sri Krishna. What to speak of the Chauragraganya Purushashtakam, Vraje Prasiddham Navanita Chauram, Gopanga Nanam Cha Dukula Chauram. The whole verse, in fact, the whole Ashtakam glorifies the greatest thief, Sri Krishna. And Bilva Mangala Thakur says, Kara grahe vasa sadar daye madiye mad bhakti pasha iha bandana nischalasan. Tom Krishna he pranaya koti shatantarepi sarvasva chaura hridayan nahi mochayami. O Krishna, every thief must be punished. Bigger the offense, bigger is the punishment. So you have stolen everything, O Krishna, such a big offender. You have stolen our sins. You have stolen even our forehead with the tilak. Before, the forehead would be used just for decoration, but now with the tilak, you have stolen my forehead. You have stolen my neck. You have stolen our clothes in the form. We have changed our clothes. Before, we were wearing a different set of clothes, but now we wear a different set of clothes. So Krishna doesn't just steal the clothes of the gopis. He steals the clothes of the gopas also. He steals the clothes of all of us. And not just that, he steals the complexion of the clouds. He steals the mood of the ocean. Why? The ocean is unlimited. He is Karuna Sindhu. His mercy is also unlimited like the ocean. So he has stolen that quality from the ocean. Similarly, he has stolen the hearts of all the Vaishnavas. His name steals our Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, all of our suffering, just by calling out to him. Such a great thief. So Sripad Bilva Mangal Thakur says, bigger the offense, bigger the punishment. So therefore, oh dear best among thieves, I will give you the best punishment. And what is that? I will lock you up in a prison. How long? Life imprisonment. And because you're eternal, may you eternally be imprisoned in a dark jail. What is that dark jail? My heart, which is full of avidya or ignorance. And may you stay there in the jail of my heart for all times to come, completely handcuffed by the strings of bhakti. Bhakti pasha iha bandhana nischalasan. Binding you very tightly by the ropes of my love, I keep you eternally in the prison house of my heart. So all of our acharyas, they have glorified Krishna as the Supreme Lord. But what does Srimad Bhagavatam say? What has Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam Shukha Mukhad Amrita Drava Samyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavuka. Bhagwan Vyasadev, who is the incarnation of the Lord, he wrote so much, but his concluding work, after which he didn't write anything, is Srimad Bhagavatam. Any of you, if you don't have Srimad Bhagavatam, please get a set of Srimad Bhagavatam. Today being Janmāṣṭamī, it's very auspicious, and start reading today. And let's say if you have one and you haven't opened the cover and started reading it yet, today is a good day to start it. And let's say if you have opened it and you've started reading it, but you're not consistent, please promise Krishna on his birthday. Krishna will say, it's good that you're giving me sweets and things, butter and sugar to eat, but give me something every day. The commitment to read Srimad Bhagavatam every day. And if you're already reading Srimad Bhagavatam every day, then make it a point that you share with others what you're reading, right? So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the concluding work of Bhagavan Vyasadeva, it is beyond doubt established that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Srila Jiva Goswami, in his Krishna Sandarbha, has churned out anuched after anuched, which means chapter after chapter, establishing without any doubt Krishna's supremacy. So please fasten your seatbelts. In the next 45 minutes, we will go through different references in Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, we don't have time for all the references. Maybe we should have a week-long seminar for that. But in the span of today's discussion, we'll share about 10-15 verses from Srimad Bhagavatam with different references as to how the glories of Krishna has been established. Is everyone ready? Are you ready? Please keep a notebook and a pen or a pencil ready. Also keep your Srimad Bhagavatam ready if you have one with the references, and you should be able to see the screen in a minute. We'll show you the references that's found in Srimad Bhagavatam. Let me know if you're able to see. So these are different verses, starting with the emperor verse, which means the king of all verses. Ete cham shakala pumsah Kṛṣṇastu bhagavān svayam. So please everyone take note. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, Text 28. That's the reference if you're looking for it. Ete chamsha kalah pumsah Kṛṣṇastu bhagavān svayam. So let's discuss this verse a bit. In Srimad Bhagavatam, many incarnations have been described. Like, for example, Narada Muni has been described as one of the incarnations. And I'm writing in Sanskrit. You can also write it in English if you desire. Kapila has been described. The Dashavatar have been described. The Dashavatar. At the same time, different other incarnations have also been described, all in the start of the 3rd chapter of the 1st canto. Just as reference. In the 1st canto, 3rd chapter, these different incarnations, the Dashavataras, have been described. Okay? And after describing all of them, different incarnations, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, they've all been described. In fact, the Kumaras have been described. Kumaras have been described. I'm just going to put an S here. Kumaras. Kumaraha, Bahuvachan. The 4 sons of Brahma. They have been described. All the different incarnations have been described. And after describing all of them, Suta Goswami says something fabulous. He says, Ete. Here the Ete refers to all these incarnations. Eshaha etau ete. Which means all the different incarnations that have been already spoken about. Suta Goswami says, they are all Amsha Kala. 2 words have been used. But before that, there is another word. Cha. Cha means and in Sanskrit. So all of this that have been described and other incarnations which have not been described, all of them put together. So, which means the things that Suta Goswami has spoken here in the list, and the ones which are described in other Puranas which have not been described. They're all ete cha. They're all the amsha and the kala. Amsha means they are a portion. हिंदी में कहते हैं ना ये इसका अंश है. So amsha means a portion, an expansion, a manifestation, right? A small portion. And what does kala mean? The portion of that portion. So I'm going to write P of that P, which means portion of that portion. They're all, whatever has been described till now, whether it's these incarnations or whether the ones described in other Puranas, they are either the portion or the portion of the portion of Pumsaha. The word Pumsaha here refers to Vishnu. The word Puman means Vishnu, from where the word Pumsaha comes. The word Purusha, Pumsa, they all refer to Vishnu. So all these incarnations which have been described in the Bhagavatam and which have not been described, which have been described in other places, they are portions or portion of the portion of Vishnu. However, now is an interesting point. Kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. Now in Sanskrit, the word tu means kintu, parantu, but. After saying all of that, when you say but, you're actually going to contradict your statement, right? For example, if you say, I tried, but I failed, right? So you're saying something, and now you're changing the subject matter to something else. So till now, here in the first line, what has been mentioned is all the incarnations, Narasimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Ityadi. They're all expansions. They're all portions of the portions of Narayana. However, Kṛṣṇa, this Supreme Lord, bhagavān svayam. He's not just God, he's the Supreme Lord himself, svayam. So now let's discuss this. I'm just going to erase all of this a bit. Till then we can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, so now let's discuss just this phrase, Kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam, as described by Srila Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami has raised this point. The word Kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam could have two meanings. And we need little focus here. After that, you can relax. Just little focus here. Srila Jiva Goswami says, Kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam could probably have two meanings. One is, Kṛṣṇa is Swayam Bhagavan, or somebody is Swayam Bhagavan, but he has come as Kṛṣṇa. In Sanskrit, the good thing is words can be rearranged in a sentence. Like in English, you have to say, I am eating. In Sanskrit, you don't necessarily have to say, Aham khadami, Aham likhami, Aham pibami. You can just say pibamyaham, or you can just say pibami. Like the order of the words in the sentence don't matter, right? So when you say Kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam, it could have probably two explanations. One is Kṛṣṇa is God, this way, or somebody else is God, but he has come as Kṛṣṇa, right? Many times people think it is light, he's formless, nirgun, nirakar, formless, qualityless, and he takes a form as Kṛṣṇa. Or some may think Vishnu is the Supreme Lord, he manifests as Kṛṣṇa, right? So there are two meanings. Either you can think that this way, where Kṛṣṇa is Bhagavan, the original, or you could think the red way, either the blue way or the red way. Either you could think that Kṛṣṇa is the full potency bhagavān, or you can think somebody else is bhagavān, but he's appearing as Krishna. So now, to understand this, we're going to discuss a topic. Please write down. There is a term called as avimrishta vidheyamsha dosh. Avimrishta vidheyamsha dosh. Looks like a big dragon. What does it mean? Well, it's a flaw. Dosha means a flaw. It is a flaw where you start glorifying something or speaking about something that we are unaware of. Imagine if I say, that boy is amazing. Your natural question would be, which boy? I don't know which boy you're talking about, right? So this is a avimrishta vidayamsha dosh. If I say, his name is Ramesh and he is a very good boy, and then later I say, he studies very well, he is very cultured. So now you know whom I'm talking about. First, the subject has been mentioned, and then extra information has been given. But imagine if the information is given first and you don't know who the subject is, it is a dosha, it is a fault. And this is the exact thing that Keshav Kashmiri did in his debate with Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nimai Pandit had a debate with Keshav Kashmiri. And Keshav Kashmiri there composed this verse, again with the reference. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 16, text 41. We won't get into the verse, but I'll just tell you in the context of the verse. Keshav Kashmiri, he glorifies Ganga. And he says in the second line, Shri Vishnoho Charana Kamala Utpatti Subhaga, which means Ganga has the fortune that she has appeared from the lotus feet of Vishnu. So where is the description given? In the second line. But what is happening in the first line? He says, Mahatvam Gangaya. Oh, how glorious is Ganga. So now, if you say this first you say she originates from the lotus feet of Vishnu, and then you say, therefore, her glory is unbelievable. This is perfect. But in the first line, if you say Ganga's glories are unlimited, well, the listener would say, what about Ganga is unlimited? Why is she glorious? So this is called avimrishta vidheyamsha dosh, where you start saying something without explaining whom you're talking about and why. And Keshav Kashmiri, unfortunately, in his poetry, does this twice in the same verse. First, he says Ganga is glorious. And then in the second line, he says, oh, well, because she appears from the lotus feet of Hari. And Nimai Pandit holds on to that and says, this is a dosha. This is a fault. And in the third line, you can see, he says, Dvitiya Shri Lakshmi. He says, Ganga is like the second Lakshmi. Now, the point is, because Lakshmi serves the lotus feet of Narayan, and Ganga also is situated at the lotus feet of Narayan, therefore, the comparison has been made that Ganga is like the second Lakshmi. But without explaining that Lakshmi is at the lotus feet of Narayan, if you say Ganga is the second Lakshmi, it's not clear why. Is it because she's the goddess of fortune? Or are you saying she comes from Vaikuntha? Or are you saying that she is the wife of the Lord? Or are you saying she's very beautiful? What context? So this is a dosha where a thing has been made without explaining the background, right? And Bhagavatam doesn't have avimrishta vidheyamsha dosh. This fault is not there. So now let's come to the point. This has been used to make a point. Now let's say, we say there is a svayam bhagavān and that is Krishna. This will be a dosha because that svayam bhagavān has not been defined yet in the Bhagavatam. Without defining svayam bhagavān, if you say that svayam bhagavān is Krishna, this is a dosha, this is a fault. However, what is amazing is just few verses before this verse, Krishna has been introduced already. Suta Goswami says the 19th and the 20th incarnation are Krishna and Balaram, And then he says that Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. Does that make sense? So that flaw that there is a Swayam Bhagavan and he has come as Krishna is not possible because that Swayam Bhagavan has not been defined yet. And that will be a fault as far as literature is concerned. However, on the other hand, Krishna has already been introduced in the book. Suta Goswami has already introduced Krishna in the book. And then he says that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Isn't this amazing? After describing all the different incarnations, he says that Krishna is actually the Supreme Lord. And to prove this point that Krishna is actually Swayam Bhagavan, he is not a portion of anybody, Srila Jiva Goswami has given series of praman from other sections of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now let's get started. Let's start with the first praman for today. And this is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, text 12 to 19. So we are going on a set of, actually it should be up to 20. We are going on a set of 8 to 9 verses here. That's the first praman for today. सूत जानासि भद्रं ते भगवान् सात्वतां पतिः देवक्यां वसुदेवस्य जातो यस्य चिकीर्षया. Shaunakadi Rishi at Naimisharanya are speaking to Suta Goswami and they say Bhadram te, which means all glories to you. We want to hear about Bhagavan, who Sattvatam Patihi, who is the leader of the devotees. Now the question could be, which incarnation of God do you want to hear? They come straight to the point. Devakyam Vasudevasya. We want to speak about Krishna, who appeared, Jataha, who appeared as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. And he performed sweet pastimes, and we want you to speak about it. Then he says, not just Krishna, we want to hear about all his incarnations. After speaking about Devakyam Vasudevasya, which means the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, they say, we want to hear Yasya Avataro. We want to hear about that incarnation of the Lord, which came to protect mankind. And we are ready to hear about him. Sushrushamananam, Tannah Sushrushamananam, which means Shrudhatu, which means Shravanam, to hear. Sushrushamananam, we want to hear with so much eagerness about that avatar, that incarnation of the Supreme Lord who came as Devaki and Vasudev's son. Now glorifying Krishna further. Krishna's name has been glorified. The holy name of Krishna. Apanna samsritim ghoram yannama vivasho grinan tata sadhyo vimuccheta yad bibheti swayam bhayam. We want to now start off by Nam Mahima, the glorification of Krishna's holy name. And how is Krishna's holy name? This name of Krishna is such that for all of us who are stuck, Apanna samsritim. Samsritim means the cycle of birth and death. Ghoram, which is very terrific, horrifying, fear-inducing. For all of us who live in this material world, Tataha sadhyo vimuccheta, this name of Krishna, 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 Hey, Krishna, 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 Hey. This name of Krishna, Vimuchyeta, it will immediately free us from all problems. Now the question is, should it be chanted only with faith and devotion? No, Vivasho Grunan. Even if you helplessly call out, even if you just say, oh Krishna, in case of any fear, in case of any anxiety, you just say, Krishna. This is called Vivasho Grunan, calling out to Krishna helplessly. That Tata Sadhyo Vimuccheta, quickly, very quickly, it frees the living entity. Yat bhibeti swayam bhayam, even fear fears the holy name of Krishna. And not just the name of Krishna. Now let's come to the lotus feet of Krishna. Yad pad samshrayasuta munaya prashamayana sadhya punatyupasprishta swardhunyapa anusevaya. That this is so amazing that the lotus feet of Krishna This is so amazing that the lotus feet of Krishna has two personalities. One is those who take shelter, those are the pure devotees. And one is Ganga Devi. Between Ganga and the pure devotees, whose association do we want the most? Well, we want both, but between both of them, who purifies us the most? It is described the pure devotees purify us the most. My Guru Maharaj explains, Ganga washes the lotus feet and flows out, but pure devotees search the lotus feet and go towards it. Ganga washes Krishna's lotus feet and comes in this world. Just by touch of Krishna's lotus feet, Ganga is all pure. And pure devotees, they rush towards the Ganga. So here it's described, Krishna's lotus feet is so special that all pure devotees want it. And just by their association, Gangara parasha hoile paschate pavan, darshane pavitra karo etu margun. You bathe in the Ganga anusevaya. You can see this word, anusevaya. By repeated dipping in the Ganga, one becomes pure. But just by holding the lotus feet to the heart, the pure devotees, the Krishna bhaktas, the Shuddha bhaktas, they can punati bhuvanatrayam. They purify the whole creation. So glorifying Krishna, Krishna's name, Krishna's lotus feet, Krishna's devotees. Now it is described, what do you get by hearing about Krishna? Look, Bhagavatam has emphatically said that by hearing the karmana, the pastimes of Krishna, shrunuyat, भगवान की कथा सुनने से क्या होता है? कली मलापहम. All the mala, all the contamination gotten by Kali apaham is destroyed just by hearing about Krishna. The next verse says, how are Krishna's pastimes? Udarani. Udarani means Krishna is Gopala Udara Charitam. You can write this term. Balya Leelam Manoharam. Balya Leelam Manoharam, or you can write another very beautiful term, Gopala Udara Charita. This is from the Bhagavatam. Gopal's pastimes are Udara Charitam. Why Udara Charitam? Same word here. Why are Krishna's pastimes amazing? Because it's amazing. He saves his friends from the water. Right? In Kaliya's pastime, he saves his friends who have all fallen unconscious drinking the poison. He saves his friends from the poison, the water. And then he saves the water from Kaliya. And then he saves Kaliya from Garuda. And then he gives eternal pleasure to Garuda by letting him eat other snakes and other fishes. So Krishna takes sides with everyone. When we take sides in this world, we take side with one camp against another camp. But Krishna is so amazing. He takes sides with everybody. He protects his friends from the water. I'm just going to write H2O for all of our chemistry folks here. So he protects the friends from the water, protects the water from the snake, Kaliya, and protects the snake from Garuda, and at the same time doesn't curse Garuda like how Shaubari did. What did Shaubari Muni do? He cursed Garuda, let Kaliya live in the water. As a result, all the friends died. So when we shower mercy, it's not Udarani. But Krishna's pastimes are amazing. He takes sides with everyone. And therefore it is described here. These pastimes are such sweet pastimes. The word used for Krishna is Harehe, Akhyani. The names of the Katha, Avatara Katha of Krishna, of Harehe, are so amazing. Why is Krishna called Hari here in this verse? Two meanings why. The speaker speaks Hari Katha. The word Hari has many meanings, but two main meanings. Hari Shabda Nana Artha Dui Mukhyatam Sarva Mangala Hare Prem Diye Hare Man. By speaking about Hari Katha, there are two effects. Many effects, but two primary effects. One is all of our sins are stolen. By speaking and hearing about Krishna, sins are stolen. At the same time, by speaking and singing about Krishna, our Heart is stolen. Krishna steals both our sins, Hari, and he steals our heart. Therefore, Hari. And therefore, dear devotees, the classic verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, all of you, wherever we are, we can all chant this verse, very beautiful verse. Vayam tu na vitripyama uttama shloka vikrame yat shrunvatam rasajnanam swadu swadu pade pade. This pastime or these beautiful leelas of Krishna, they are called Uttama Shloka Vikrame. They are the pastimes of Uttama Shloka, Sri Hari. And the Rasik Janas, the Rasikas, they hear it and they find it Swadu. Swadu means sweet. Swadvanna Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangan. The word has come in Guru Ashtakam. Swadu means very, very tasty. Pade Pade. Pad ke kai arth hain. One meaning of pada means at every step. Pada can also mean every word. As Hari Katha is spoken and heard at every step on the path of our life, or at every word as we are hearing and speaking, Swadu. It's delicious. And therefore, it is said, Na vitripyamaha. We are satisfied but not satiated. We want more. So even statements like ye dil mange more come from Srimad Bhagavatam only. Vayam tu na vitripyamaha. We want more and more. So you can, it's quite amazing if someone just reads this middle section. I'm just gonna bring your attention to this. Let's say, look below the green line. Someone comes to this section, right? Starting from this section, and let's say reads up to this section. The word Kṛṣṇa is not clear because words used are Uttama Shloka, Hari. Similarly, you can see here Punya Shloka, ityadi, Yatpada, Yannama, Avatar, ityadi. So it's not clear whether it's Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, they have very beautifully sandwiched it. Before the section comes in, Devakyam Vasudevasya, which means that refers to Kṛṣṇa only. It's not possible that you speak about Kṛṣṇa here and then you start speaking about other incarnations here. It's not possible. The same theme is continuing. So they are speaking about bhagavān, who is the son of Devaki and Vasudev. And at the end, again you can see at the end of the section, Kritavan kila karmani. Kṛṣṇa doesn't come alone. Saharamena Keshava. Keshava comes along with Ram, Balaram. So before the section, Krishna's name has come, Devakyam Vasudevasya. And at the end of the section, in the 20th verse, again, just to reiterate the context, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Text 20, this verse. It has been described, Keshava, Krishna comes with Balaram and Kritavan Kila Karmani. He performs such pastimes, Ati Martyani, Gudha, Kapata Manusha, seems like a human. बट कपटी हैं, भगवान है वो, मनुष्य धरातल पर आते हैं, मानुषम देहमास्तितः, seems like a human. Krishna and Balaram are faking as if they are humans. Gudha, confidential. They are the Supreme Lord and perform pastime which are ati martyani. Nobody can eat dirt and show the universe in the mouth. They can only eat dirt, but they cannot show the universe in the mouth. This is ati martyani. At the same time, dancing on the hoods of a water snake, or lifting up a very big mountain, or sipping forest fire. These are all ati martyani bhagavan guda kapata manusha. So therefore, in the first canto, first chapter, Krishna has been glorified. Of course, we won't have time for a whole cross-section of Srimad Bhagavatam, maybe sometime in some life, but for now we will keep moving. This is the second chapter now. When questions have been asked, 6 questions are asked. 6 questions are asked in the Sutta Shaunaka Samvad, and I will let all of you read what those 6 questions are. But 4 out of those 6 questions are directly in connection with Krishna. Can you imagine? A book starts, and it's not that Krishna is described only in the 10th canto. This is the first chapter, first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the start itself, 6 questions are asked, and 4 out of those 6 are directly about Krishna. They're asking about why did Krishna appear through Devaki and Vasudeva. They're asking about the detailed explanation of his pastimes. his incarnations, Leela Avatar, Purusha Avatar, ityadi. So 4 are directly about Krishna. And the 2 that are asked, the answers to those questions are Krishna Katha. What's the supreme welfare activity for all living being? And what is the highest dharma? Savai pumsam paro dharma yatho bhaktir adhokshaje. The answer given to even the remaining 2 questions out of the 6 is Krishna. So just to put the context, all the 6 questions have been asked about Krishna only in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And so much so that Munaya sadhu prishtoham bhavadbhi lokamangalam yatkrita Krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. The questions asked are about Krishna. Therefore, the speaker first of all congratulates the listener. In the present generation, when questions are asked, the speaker says, don't ask such questions, it's out of syllabus, it is not your authority, etc., etc., in the mundane realm. But in the spiritual realm, when someone asks a question, sadhu prishtoham. Wah, bahut sundar prashna kiye. That's the way to respond. You have asked such beautiful questions. Why? Lokamangalam. The discussion by your question brings in welfare for the whole world. Now, what is so special about it that it brings in welfare to the whole world? Yat krita Krishna samprashno. All the prashna are in relation to Krishna. Therefore, they are so amazing. And this is straight in the 2nd chapter of the 1st canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna is God is not the statement of iskcon. Please don't think we are giving some institutional conclusion. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. Look straight. I'm giving you with Pramana. Srila Prabhupada churned out. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu churned out. Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur churned out the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, coming back, such beautiful questions have been asked by which there is complete auspiciousness in this world. Why? It is in connection to Krishna. So, the natural question would be, by hearing and speaking about Krishna, what's in it for me? What am I going to get? Yena atma suprasidati. Krishna katha sunoge, Krishna naam japoge, Krishna hari katha prachar seva ityadi mein lagoge, yena atma suprasidati. The soul will become suprasidati, super satisfied. Simple. Suprasidati means super satisfied. Super satisfied. So if we feel we are sad, we are not connecting with Sri Hari, Sri Krishna. Okay, let's move now. This is the 1st canto, 3rd chapter, text 1. And here the word Paurusham Rupam has come, referring to Narayana, Mahavishnu. Of course, there's a technical difference also, but we'll just, for now, Vishnu Murti, right? So, Paurusham Rupam has been referred to, bhagavān has been referred to, Narayana has been invoked, and then in the continuation of the same chapter, you will find 1.3.28, where the word ete chamsa kala pumsaha has come, which means all the incarnations. You remember on the top, we discussed this? The word pumsaha. This is in 1.3.28 of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this pumsaha word in context comes to 1.3.1 here. So this Paurusham Rupam refers to, or in 1.3.28, the word pumsaha, ete chamsakala pumsaha, refers to this word Paurusham Rupam, which means all incarnations have manifested from Narayana. But Krishna stu bhagavān svayam. Krishna is the root. Krishna is the source. Now, let's see something amazing. This is Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.37. Here, Narada is offering a very beautiful mantra to Vyas. Narada is the guru, Vyas is the disciple, and he's offering a mantra. This is the mantra that Vyasdev chanted, and he got trance. Now, Narada could have given, Devarshi Narada Muni could have given any mantra. But let's read what mantra Narada Muni gives. This is in the first canto, 5th chapter to Vyas. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam Vasudevaya Dhimahi Pradyumnaya Niruddhaya Nama Sankarshanaya Cha. Now you please tell me, whom does this refer to? He is saying, I bowed down to Bhagavan. Now Bhagavan could be anybody, but the word used is Vasudev. Who is Vasudev? The son of Vasudev, that is Krishna. Right? And not just Krishna, the word Sankarshan has come here, which is Balaram. Which means Krishna's brother. And not just that, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. This is Krishna's son, and this is Krishna's grandson. So Narada Muni is giving the mantra to Vyas, glorifying Krishna, Krishna's brother, Krishna's son, and Krishna's grandson. All four of them. Just call out to them and they will give you all Shakti. So in short, Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Aniruddha and Pradyumna, the Chaturvyuha manifestation. And Vyasadev very systematically continues to chant this mantra. And let's see whom he sees in his meditation. Now this is Canto 1, Chapter 7, Text 4. You can always study all these verses later as homework, but now we keep moving to a certain context. Narada Muni gives this Krishna mantra to Vyas, and Vyasadev chants them. And now let's see what he sees in his trance. This is the trance of Vyas. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranahite male apashyat purusham purnam mayam cha tad apashrayam. So through Bhakti yoga, through devotion, Vyas was constantly chanting the holy name, Bhagavan Vyasadev. And so through Bhakti, in his consciousness, or let's say you can say in his heart, Chitta, mind, which was Amale, which was purified. Of course, Vyasadev has no contamination. But in his purified mind or in the purified heart, because of devotion, apashyat, he saw. Vyasadev, he saw. Whom did he see? Purusham Purnam. He saw God. Name has not been given. This Purusham Purnam could be anybody, right? Name has not been described. It could be anybody. So anyway, he sees God, Purusham Purnam, Purna Purusha, Adi Purusha, Govindam Adi Purusham. He saw God and at the same time he also saw Maya Shakti, Tad Apashrayam, under him. In his meditation, Vyas saw the whole creation. He saw God, he saw Antaranga Shakti, internal energy, external energy, he saw spiritual world, material world, everything. But the name has not been given. Please tell me, dear devotees, if this is the 4th verse, and if this is the 7th verse, do you agree there must be a connection? Right? Logical flow. Now let's see. Let's see the words that have been used. Purusham Purnam, Parama Purusha. And let's see what name has come. Yasyam Vaishruyamanayam Krishne Parama Purushe Bhaktir Utpadhyate Pumsaha Shoka Moha Bhayapaha. He sees. Hey, why would you put that into a cloud? Well, because he is a cloud-like incarnation. Krishna is Ghanasham, Meghasham. He is blue like a rain cloud, right? So Vyasdev in his meditation, here it says Purusham Purnam, he saw God, but here the name has been given, Krishna. And by hearing, Shruyamanayam, by hearing about him, what happens? Bhakti utpadyate. Bhakti manifests. Bhakti rises like the sun. Of course, in our childhood, whenever we were asked to make sun, we would make like 2 mountains and a sun rises from between with like opposite rays, right? Long and short rays. We're not going to do that here. But when Bhakti as the sun rises in the sky of the heart, three things are lost. Shoka, which shoka, moha, bhaya. Bhaya is fear of the future. Shoka is grief or lamentation of the past. And moha means confusion. And that is of the present, which means all forms of suffering of past, present, and future are destroyed when bhakti rises by hearing about Sri Krishna. Clear? I hope this is instilling more and more faith, drilling into our heart that this is not some blind faith that we are part of. Right? Now let's continue. Of course, second canto, third canto, fourth canto, fifth canto, 6, 7, 8, 9, all of them speak about Krishna. Srila Jiva Goswami in his explanation. By the way, whatever I am giving, Srila Jiva Goswami, all glories to him. He has churned all of this out. All of them talk about Krishna. Jiva Goswami has given how each canto speaks about Krishna. But in the interest of time, let's start with the analysis of the 10th canto now. From here we start Dasham Skand, Srimad Bhagavatam. So let's start. Canto 10. Why are we going with Canto 10? Because Canto 10 is amazing. Srimad Bhagavatam has 335 chapters in total, of which 90 chapters talk about Krishna. Directly about Krishna in the Dasham Skanda. So you can see that's more than 30%. Right? Much more than 30%. So speaking about Krishna. So amazing. So 25%, let's say. So they talk about Krishna directly. This is Krishna Katha. And rest also talk about Krishna here, there, everywhere. Like for example, just as an example, in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, you can see there is description of Prahlad Maharaj. Description of Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj, while speaking, he says, Matinna Krishne Paratasvatova. The word Krishna has come there. Prahlad Maharaj was in Satya Yuga worshipping Narayana, right? But he still says Matinna Krishne Paratosvatova, which means Krishna Bhakti was prevalent even in Satya Yuga by Prahlad. That's what he was doing. Another example, in the 7th canto, it is described what was Prahlad, what was he haunted by. What was the ghost that had taken on Prahlad's consciousness? It is described Krishna Graha Grihitatma. It was a planet, not Rahu, Ketu or Shani, but it was a planet called Krishna. Krishna Graha se grast the. At the same time, in the 9th canto, you can see in the pastime of Ambarish Maharaj. You can see that it is described Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayo Vachamsi Vaikuntha Gunanu Varnane. That Ambarish Maharaj spent his speech. He utilized his speech, Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayo Vachamsi Vaikuntha Gunanu Varnane. He was glorifying Vaikuntha, which means Vishnu, Sri Hari. But what was his mind constantly thinking of? Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayo. The lotus feet of Sri Krishna, Sri Hari. Of course, Vishnu, Krishna, ultimately no difference. Same tattva only. But we are, because it's Janmāṣṭamī, we're trying to bring out where the presence of Krishna is in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is with respect to 7th canto. Even 8th canto, 9th canto all talk about Krishna also. But now in the interest of time, let's start with our 10th canto description. This is, sorry, the line wasn't straight. Yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam 10:123. Brahmaji is mentioning to the demigods. The context is, by the way, it's exactly 12 o'clock. Preeti Vilasni Mataji, is it okay if I can take some extra few minutes today being Janmāṣṭamī?
As many minutes as you want. I'm thoroughly relishing this class. Please continue.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, the context here is, we know Mother Earth, she... Prithvi Bharanajo Mukunda, she gets bent by the weight of the sins of the unsaintly kings, and she goes to Brahma. Brahma takes everyone to the milk ocean, meditating, right? And in his meditation, it is revealed that Krishna will appear. The Supreme Lord will appear. Now again, Krishne Parama Purushe, that same term has come here. bhagavān Purusha Para, the Supreme Lord will come. But where and how will he come? Look at the details. It's so amazing. Vasudeva Grihe, in the house of Vasudev. Karagriha. In the Griha of Vasudev, who will appear? Look at this term. Sakshad, starting from here, going all the way, bhagavān Purusha Paraha. Janishyate. He will appear. He will appear. The Supreme Lord himself, the cause of all causes, Sri Hari, will appear as Sri Krishna in the jail in the house of Vasudeva. And he will appear, and what should the demigods do? The devatas do? They all should appear along with their wives. Now look at this. Sambhavantu, may all of you take birth. Like Sambhavami, Krishna says, I appear. So Sambhavantu, this is called imperative mood. May all of you take birth. This is like a possibility of blessing or a request. May all of you, Surastriya, all the wives of the devatas, may all of you appear. Now, the term that is left in the verse is nectarian. Tat priyartham. Now the word priyartham can be broken in two ways. You can either break it as for the sake of being the beloved. Tat refers to Krishna. Tat priya artham. For the sake of being dear to Krishna, which means all of you appear as gopis. All wives of devatas, may all of you appear as gopis. That's one meaning. Or another way you can break priyartham. Priya artham. Here artham means for, and the word priya refers to Shrimati Radha Rani ki jai. Tat priyartham. Please appear for the sake of serving Shrimati Radhika. The sake of seva. Which means, now there comes an interesting question. How can the wives of the devatas appear as gopis? Is that possible? Uddhava has said that is not possible. Because these gopis are nitya parikar, they are eternal associates. As Krishna comes in this world, his associates also come in this world. But definitely what is possible is this meaning, where the wives of the devatas appear as servants, to these gopis who are assisting Srimati Radharani. How amazing. So they cannot, the wives of the devatas cannot appear as gopis, because the gopis, Lalita, Vishaka, Indulekha, they're all eternal. But in this Leela, may the wives of the devatas appear as maid servants of the gopis of Srimati Radharani. Tat priyartham sambhavantu surastriya. How beautiful is Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna tulya bhagavat vibhu sarvashray prati shloke prati akshare nanarthe koi. Every syllable, every word of Shastra, of Srimad Bhagavatam is so nectarian. I hope I am not boring all of you to death. I hope you're having a fun time on the day of Janmāṣṭamī, having celebration with Srimad Bhagavatam. So, now let's see the next reference. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, the very next chapter. It's called as Garbhastuti. Garbhastuti is where Krishna enters the womb of Devaki Rani, and all the devatas, they're all offering stuti while Krishna is in the Garbha. So let's chant this verse together. Matsyashva kachchapandrisimha varaha hamsa rajanya vipra vibhudeshu kritavatara tvam pasinas tribhuvanam cha yathadhunesha bharam bhuvo harayadottama vandanam te. The devatas first of all start by calling out to Krishna Yadu Uttama, because now please understand this is not anyone else but Krishna, because Krishna has entered the womb of Devaki. This is Garbhastuti, 10th canto, 2nd chapter is the context, right? So they call him Yaduttama. Oh, best among Yadunam Shiromani. Yadava. Ityadi, ityadi. Vandanam te. We bow down to you. Namaste. We bow down to you. And who are you? Look at this. Brilliant description here. Matsya. You come as a fish. Bolo Matsya Avatar ki jai. And Ashwa. You come as Hayagriva, as a horse. Hayagriva Avatar ki jai. Kacchapa. Kacchapa means, what does Kacchapa mean? Tortoise, yes. So that refers to Kurmadev. So you come as a fish, you come as a horse, you come as a Kurma, as a tortoise. And Narasimha, oh, no need of any introduction. You know who he is. Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. This is a lion. That too I'm going to say 50%. Half a lion. So he comes as a fish, he comes as a horse, he comes as a tortoise, he comes as a lion, Varaha, he comes as a boar. Hamsa, he comes as a swan. So used to writing in Sanskrit, this is not V but W. Sanskrit doesn't have a W, it has only a V. So I was going to write SVA and like Swami. It's actually swan. Okay, in English. And then Rajanya, you come as a king. Shri Ramachandra. Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajamana Harana Bhava Bhayadarunam. Rajanya. And Vipra, sometimes you come as Parashuram. And Vibhuda, sometimes you come among the Devatas as Vaman Avatar. Krita Avatara, you take all these incarnations. And what do you come for? Tvam pasi nastribhuvanam cha yatha dhunesha. You come pasi, padhatu, to protect. He comes to protect the three worlds. And bharam hara, bhuvaha. भूमि देवी के भार को हरने के लिए और हम सब की रक्षा करने के लिए हे यदुत्तमा, हे कृष्ण, आप ही भिन्न भिन्न अवतारों में प्रकट होते हैं. So this shows straight from the lips of the Devatas that it is not like this, that the incarnations have come as Krishna, but it's actually the other way, that Krishna became these incarnations, and to be confirmed by Jayadev Goswami's Keshavadhrita, Matsya Sharira, Meena Sharira, ityadi. So the Devatas are saying, Krishna, hey Yaduttama, you are the source, and you take different incarnations, Yatha Adhunesha. According to this time also, hey Isha, O Lord, we bow down to you. Vandanam te. हम जब गर्भ में होते हैं कोई स्तुति करता है हमारी? यहाँ ठाकुर जी देव की रानी के गर्भ में प्रवेश करते हैं तो पूरे ब्रह्मांड को चलाने वाले 33 करोड़ देवता वंदन कर रहे हैं इस छोटे नन्हे मुन्ने शिशु को जो गर्भस्थ अवस्था में बैठे हैं. So when we are in the womb, nobody bows down to us or offers obeisances, even after we come out of the womb. But for Krishna, when he's in the womb, the Lokapal, the different order carriers, are all offering obeisances and they're saying, all these incarnations are you, O Devakinanda. Now, let's see according to astrology. What does astrology say about Krishna? This is Gargacharya giving the name of Krishna. He was called, can you name my son? Nanda Maharaj has called Gargacharya in the cowshed. So Gargacharya says, Bahuni santi namani rupani cha sutasyate guna karmanu rupani tanyaham vedano jana. It means, te sutasya. Oh, hey Nanda, te means tava, tava sutasya, your sons, names, namani, these are names, and rupani, forms. And please note the S, namani and rupani are in bahuvachan, plural, therefore I am writing names and forms. And to qualify them, the word used is bahuni. Bahuni means unlimited, infinite. जिस प्रकार हिंदी में कहते हैं बहुविधान से, नाना विधान से, which means in many ways. Bahuni santi namani rupani cha sutasyate. Oh Nanda, Gargacharya is saying, your son has many, many forms and many, many names on the basis of guna karma anurupani. On the basis of his qualities and on the basis of his karma, the activities he performs, he has many, many names. Tani aham veda. I know them. According to astrology, I know he's God. No, Jana, but people don't. People don't. Or, quite interesting, this no, which means no, can go for both. You see, if, let's put it like this, a crow, in Sanskrit, there's a nyay called kakakshi nyay, which means it's believed that a crow has only one eyeball, but it moves between two eye sockets. So we can say this is like that, which is moving back and forth, which means Gargacharya is saying, either he's saying, I know everything about Krishna, but people don't, or using this logic, he says, people also don't know, I also don't know, but I can just say, according to astrology, your son has many, many names, and he's the Supreme Lord, he's Bhagavan. He takes so many forms and so many names, but now, Shukla Raktasthata Pita Idanim Krishnatam Gataha. Now he has come in a dark complexion, and he should be called Krishna as the all-attractive Lord. Okay, now let's see another beautiful context. Here this is, I am going to write in short, this is Manigriv and Nalakuver in Damodar Leela. Damodar Leela. So you know the very famous pastime where, right? Manigriv and Nalakuver, the very famous pastime. And who was stuck between them? Wow, the best person to be ever stuck between two things, that's Damodar. हम प्रपंच में फंस जाते हैं. We are stuck between things. But how glorious is the glory of Manigriva and Nalakuver that they both were commonly stuck with Damodar between them. So in this Leela, Manigriva and Nalakuver, they offer some prayers to Krishna, and they say, O Krishna, you appear avatara, Bahuvachan Prayog. You come in many, many incarnations. Yasya avatara nyayante. People know you as he who has many, 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 many incarnations. All these incarnations come from you, and they are viryahi. They are all very strong, full of opulence and full of glory. And sarva lokasya bhavaya vibhavaya cha. You come only to protect all of us. You come only to destroy the demons. You come only to protect Mother Earth. And avatirna amsha bhagena. You don't come alone. You take everybody, all your amshas also. You bring in Balaram. Ekahi swarupa dohe bhinna matra kai. Adi kaya vyuha Krishna lilara sahai. Sarva avatari Krishna svayam bhagavān. Tahara dvitiya deha Sri Balaram. So you come in this world taking Balaram and other incarnations only to save all of us. So the main point in the context is, O Krishna, your incarnations are full of strength, opulence, sweetness and glory. This is Manigriv Nalakuver in purified consciousness offering prayers. Wow. Now look at this. This is Shukadev Goswami. This is one of my favorite contexts in the Srimad Bhagavatam. If somebody could ask Shukadev Goswami, you are speaking so many Leelas of Krishna, which is your favorite Leela, or which is the Leela that you like to be absorbed in? Of course, Shukadev Goswami may have so many answers, but this is one praman in Bhagavatam where it said, remembering Krishna and all his friends, Shukadev Goswami fainted in ecstasy. And it is described he went unconscious. And Parikshit Maharaj was getting panicked here. He was going frantic because this is already the 5th day out of 7 days that 10th canto is going on. And Parikshit Maharaj is thinking, oh dear speaker, please wake up. Because if you go in ecstasy, in no time Takshak will come and put me into ecstasy. I will have to sleep. My body will fall. So you please wake up. Tolerate your ecstasy and speak Harikatha. So here it's described, Badarayani, Shukdev Goswami, Smarita, he remembered. He remembered Ananta, he remembered Sri Hari, and Rita Akhila Indriya. All of his, Rita means completely snatched, absorbed, stolen. Akhila Indriya, all his heart, mind, consciousness, senses were all stolen by the pastime of Aghasur's departure. So this is the 12th chapter of the 10th canto. Context is Krishna helping all his friends come out of the mouth of Aghasur. Just remembering that, Shukdev Goswami was lost, all his senses. He couldn't even speak. So much so that Bahi Drishtihi, even opening his eyes and looking outside. Bahihi means outside and Drishi means Drishti. Just opening his eyes and looking outside was Shanaihi, a slow activity. Because he was completely intoxicated, and for him to even open his eyes and see outside what is going on was a slow activity with Krichrat, which means with lot of effort. Now what's amazing is the use of the word Punar. Punar means this was not the first time this was happening. This has happened many, many times before. Suta Goswami is saying, Krichrat Punar labda bahi drishi shanai. That as Shukdev Goswami fainted and slowly started opening his eyes with great effort, again, this was a revival from his ecstasy, which means in the past, this has happened. How amazing. Krishna is so powerful that he can control the heart of Shukdev Goswami, who can't be controlled by anything in this world. Okay, now let's see in the 13th chapter of the 10th canto, where Brahma Vimohan Leela takes place. You know the pastime where Brahma kidnaps Krishna's calves. And what does Brahma see then? He sees that each calf and each cowherd boy whom he had stolen, Krishna replaced each calf and each cowherd boy by a Vishnu Murti. And how was that Vishnu Murti? Ghanashyama. They were all like Krishna. Imagine if so many Vishnus can come from a little cowherd boy who has rice dripping from his left hand. How powerful will this boy be? Don't think he's just some rice and yogurt eating cowherd boy of Vrindavan. Brahmaji saw from him so many Vishnus, Mahavishnus came. So many four-handed Vishnu Murtis in the form of all the calves and all the cowherd boys, that they were all dark blue in complexion and Pita Kaushaya Vasa. They all had dazzling, effulgent, yellow-colored dhoti. So this is the blue color of Krishna, and this is the yellow color of Srimati Radharani. That Krishna cannot forget. So all these beautiful hidden points can be considered. Now in the very next chapter, Brahmaji offers prayers to Krishna. Many, many prayers can be quoted to say Kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam, but in this context, Brahmaji, the four-headed creator of this material creation, folds his palms and speaks to a cowherd boy. And he says, Sureshu Rishishu Isha Tathaiva Nrishwapi Tiryakshu Yadasu Apite Janasya. You are a Jana, which means you are unborn. You are unborn, still Janma, you take birth, my Lord. And where do you take birth? Same point. You take birth Sureshu, among the Devatas, sometimes among the Rishis. You could say as Parashuram, etc. And Nrishu, Nr, which means among the human populace as Ramachandra. Or Tiryak, Yadasu, aquatics, etc. Or animals, Tiryaksu. जो तिरछी चलते हैं वो, Yadasu, aquatics. You appear, although you are unborn, my Lord, Janma, you take birth among all of them. For why? Asatam durmada nigrahaya. Nigraha means to destroy. You come to control the durmada, the crazy asatam, the irreligious, crazy-minded people, to control them. Hey Prabhu. Brahma is calling Krishna, 5-year-old Krishna, Prabhu. Oh dear Lord, Sad Anugrahaya. You come in this world to give mercy to the devotees. I bow down to you. Hey, hey Vidhata, I bow down to you. Many, many things can be quoted. Let's come to 10:58:37. Nagnajit had offered his daughter in marriage to Krishna. Nagnajiti. So Nagnajit, the father, is offering his daughter in marriage to Krishna and praying to his son-in-law, to Krishna. And he says, Yad pada pankaja raja shirasa bibharti Shrirab, it should be abja. Shrirabja jasa girisha sahalokapalai Leela tanu swakrita setu paripsayaya Kale dadatsa bhagavān mama kena tushyet. He says, Yad pada pankaja raja shirasa bibharti. Your lotus feet foot dust is kept on the head. By whom? Shri. Lakshmi. This should be abja, ja. Abja, ja. Abja means lotus, and ja means he who appears on that lotus. That's Brahma. Sa Girisha refers to Mother Parvati, Lord Shiva, and Sahalokapalai refers to Indra and other Devata. All of them praying to Krishna. So if Nagnajit is praying to Krishna, he's not going to speak about any other incarnation. He's speaking about Krishna. Yad pada pankaja raja shirasa bibharti. The dust from your lotus feet is kept on the top of the head by Shri, Abjaja, Girisha, Lokapalai. And my Lord, what can I do now? Kena tushyet. What can I do now to please you? How can I serve you? How can I make you happy? We heard from all other people. Now let's hear from Devaki Rani herself. माँ तो बच्चे को बच्चा ही मानेगी, भगवान तो मानेगी नहीं, वो अगर यशोदा रानी हो तो. But Devaki Rani in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam 10:85:31. Let's see how she invokes Krishna. I want all of you to say this. This is quite a tongue twister. Quite a tongue twister. So please, you can in your home itself loudly call out to Krishna. Yasyam sham sham shabhagena. Quite interesting. Yasyam sham sham shabhagena. So one amsha. Let's do this again. How many amshas are here? Amsha, 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 and bhaga also means portion. So Devaki is saying Vishwa Utpatti Layodaya. The world is created, maintained, and destroyed. Vishwasya Utpatti Laya Ityadi. Everything is done by what? By whom? Devaki Rani says. Now look at this analysis. The first amsha refers to Narayana. The second amsha will refer to Vishnu as an expansion. The third will refer to a portion of Narayana Shakti, that is Maya. And then the bhag of that Maya Shakti will be the gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So in short, Sattva Guna creates, Rajo Guna creates, Sattva Guna maintains, and Tama Guna destroys. So Devaki is telling Krishna, this world is created, maintained, and destroyed by the gunas, which is a part of Maya, which is a part of Vishnu, which is a part of Narayan, which is your part. So yasyam sham sham shabhagena vishvotpatti layodaya. Devaki in the 85th chapter is telling, oh Krishna, by the part of the part of the part of the part of your creation, the whole world is maintained. Your amsha is Narayana, then Vishnu, then Maya, then Gunas, and they create. Sattva maintains, Rajas creates, and Tamo Guna destroys. So this also shows, if you backtrack, the first yasya is most important. This yasya refers to Krishna. आपके अंश के अंश के अंश के भाग से, like that. Finally, second last verse for today, in the interest of time. We'll keep some more for next Janmāṣṭamī. Canto 10, chapter 87, text 46. Narada Muni, at the end of the 10th canto, is offering prayers to Krishna. And what is Narada Muni saying? Please everyone chant this very beautiful verse. Shri Narada Uvacha Namastasmai Bhagavate Kṛṣṇāya Yodhatte Sarvabhutanam Abhavayo Sati Kala. So this Ushati means very beautiful. Now, what this means is, Narada Muni is calling out to Krishna, Namastasmai Bhagavate, O God, I bow down to you. And what's the name of that God? What's the name of that source? Kṛṣṇāya. And how is Krishna? Somebody may say, but I am not so sure, I don't have so much faith in Krishna. Amalakirtaye. Narad Muni is saying, he who has Amalakirti. Amalakirti means spotless fame. He who has spotless fame, unto that Krishna I bow down. Yodhatte, who gives Sarva Bhutanam Abhavaya. Abhavaya means liberation, Mukti. He liberates all living beings. How does he do that? Ushati Kala, just by his beauty. Just by his smile, everyone leaves their homes. You can see Gopas leave their homes, Gopis leave their homes, everyone runs into the forest. So similarly, all of us can also run to the forest of Vrindavan just by the smiling, moon-like lotus face of Sri Krishna. So Narad Muni is so amazing that he's the one whom Rupa Goswami calls in the Namashtakam, Narada Vino Jivana. He says that Narada Muni has a Veena, and the life of that Veena is the name of Krishna. Just like we cannot live without breath, Narada's Veena cannot live without the breath of Krishna's Naam. This is the last verse of Rupa Goswami's Namashtakam, Krishna Namashtakam. So that's Narada Muni. And what does Bhaktivinoda Thakur say about the connection between Narada Muni and Krishna? Narada Muni bajai veena Radhika Ramana Name. On the Veena, not just name of Krishna. I'm just going to add little. Narada is singing the names of Radha and Krishna. Radhika Ramana Name. And finally, dear devotees, let's chant the last verse for today. In the conclusion of the 10th canto, let's chant this verse. Very, very beautiful verse. It's in a chanda called Sragdhara. It's one of the longest chandas that we see. Very beautiful. Canto 10, chapter 90, text 47. As the 10th canto is wrapped up, you can see the beautiful name of Krishna comes in at the end. Please don't have lack of faith. Understand, you taking up to Krishna consciousness, you chanting the names of Krishna, hearing about Krishna, serving Krishna, reading about Krishna is truth. It's not somebody's opinion. It is not blind faith. Just to bolster this point, we have been hammering this whole presentation. So let's read the last verse for today. Tirtham chakre nriponam yadajani yadusho swasarit padashaucham vidvit snigdha swarupam yayurajita para shriyadarthenya yatnaha yannama mangalagnam shrutamatha gaditam yatkrito gotra dharmaha Kṛṣṇasyaitanna chitram kshiti bharaharanam kala chakrayudhasya. All of us should meditate and memorize this verse if possible. It's very beautiful. It's just one verse before Jayati Jana Nivaso Devaki Janmavado. So many of us memorize that verse, but this is one verse before that. And this is also worthy of memorizing. Let's see how Krishna is glorified here. Kṛṣṇasya. Everything about Krishna here. Tirtham chakre nriponam yadajani yadushu swasarit padashaucham. Pada means feet. Sarit means river. Swar means heavenly. Swardhuni. The heavenly river that washes his feet, Shaucham, becomes pure and purifies others. It is such that Tirtham Chakre Nriponam Yadajani Yadushu Swasarit Pada Shaucham. It means that Krishna's feet are so pure that they can make even heavenly rivers completely pure. And Krishna's feet are so amazing that Tirthas, normal places, divine places, but just places, they become eclipsed by the glory of Krishna's feet, which means if there is a thing that has historical significance, that is great, but that significance must come because Krishna has stepped his lotus feet there. If Krishna doesn't step his lotus feet, Ramachandra doesn't step his lotus feet, Narasimha doesn't step his lotus feet, a place doesn't become a tirtha. So a place becomes a tirtha when Krishna steps his lotus feet. And in that also, if there is a river which has washed Krishna's feet, then that tirtha becomes a bigger tirtha, Triveni. And imagine if there are Vaishnavas who hold that Krishna in their heart. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani swantastena gadabratha. They make every place a tirtha wherever they walk, because that Krishna, all pure, has been held in their heart as captive. Now look at this. Now second line. Glorifying Krishna's mercy. First line spoke about Krishna's feet. Now second line. Vidvit means those who are envious. And Snigdha means those who have love for Krishna. Both the envious and the devotees who have love, Swarupam Yayu, they both attained their Swarup. You can see the Pandavas also went back home, back to Godhead. Kauravas also got, Paramam Gatim. This is Krishna. He is like the sun. Sun can evaporate pure water also and contaminated water also without any pakshapat, without any bias. So this is the glory of Krishna. And Shri Yad Arthenya Yatnaha. Everybody is performing yatna to get Shri, Lakshmi. And that Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambhrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. That Lakshmi is, it is described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Kuchailam Malinam Jamam Dvijadhamani Santatam Devi Parya Charat Saksha Chamara Vyajanena Vai. When Sudama came and he saw Rukmini and Satyabhama fanning Krishna, who was sitting on the royal throne. So everybody wants Lakshmi, but that Lakshmi, Paralakshmi, or Rukmini Devi, is fanning Krishna. And that Krishna is fanning Devi Krishna Mai Prokta Radhika Paradevata, Shrimati Radharani. And finally, for all of us sadhakas, great message to chant the holy name here. Third line, it is described, Yan Nama, Krishna's name, Amangalagnam, destroys all inauspiciousness. Only when we chant? No. Shrutam atha gaditam. Shrutam means when heard, gaditam means when spoken. Yat krito gotra dharmaha. The name of Krishna, yan nama shruti matrena puman bhavati nirmalaha, is so amazing. Just by hearing Krishna or by chanting Krishna, all sins are destroyed. And yat krita gotra dharmaha. People become religious, people become saints by coming in contact with Bhagavad Gita, which are the words of Krishna. And finally, it has been described as the wrap-up to the 10th canto. Just like when someone puts their sign, they sign up the check, right? After writing all that, 10th canto has been signed by saying, Krishnasya etan na chitram. All this is not astonishing for Krishna. Kshiti bhara haranam. He has come to destroy the burden of Mother Earth. And he is the one, Kala chakra ayudhasya. Others are carrying bow and arrow, but he carries the Sudarshan chakra, which is the wheel of the time factor. All the time that controls us is simply, it is described, simply one out of the many weapons in the hands of Krishna. That's how great the Supreme Lord is. Having said this, it is established beyond doubt that ete chamsa kalaha pumsa, but Krishnastu bhagavān svayam. Having said this, I want to offer my obeisance to Srila Jiva Goswami, who has given this fantastic, unparalleled presentation in the Krishna Sandarbha. I am simply like a postman, like a mail boy, presenting it to the Vaishnavas. Swalpayusham kaliyugetra nridam samichan shabdanushasana mahajaladhim vimatya namamritam samadadadya idam kripalu sa shrila jiva charana sharanam mamastu. Just like the milk ocean was churned and a pot of nectar came out, Srila Jiva Goswami churned the four Vedas and got the big pot of the Shat Sandarbhas. And we are all very, very happy to be drinking nectar from that pot today on the day of Janmāṣṭamī. To Srila Prabhupada, who carried the current of the six Goswamis and connected us to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's beautiful, wonderful parampara, I bow down. Thank you, Priti Vilasini Mataji, for this opportunity, and to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis here. Happy Janmāṣṭamī once again. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha.